Imagine living in a time when faith faced profound divisions and the future of the church seemed uncertain. It was in this scenario that a young man named Peter Canisius decided to dedicate his life to the mission of revitalizing Catholicism and bringing the light of Christ to hearts in need. Today, his story continues to inspire generations, and his life challenges us to reflect on how we too can be instruments of God in our time. Welcome to the Path to Holiness channel. It is with great joy that we invite you to dive into the life of Saint Peter Canisius, one of the great doctors of the Church, whose example of faith, courage, and wisdom inspires us to deepen our commitment to Christ. May the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary and all the saints accompany us as we explore the journey of this faithful servant of God. Peter Canisius was born on May 8, 1521, in the city of Nijmegen, part of the Holy Roman Empire, now in the Netherlands. From an early age, he demonstrated remarkable intelligence and spiritual sensitivity, setting him apart from his contemporaries. During his studies at the University of Cologne, something extraordinary happened. Through visits to the Carthusian monastery, Peter experienced a profound inner transformation. These experiences drew him closer to God and led him to question how he could dedicate his life more fully to Him. It was during this period that Peter Canisius encountered the Society of Jesus, a religious order in its early years, founded by St. Ignatius of Loyola. The order's mission was to renew Catholic faith and form missionaries capable of addressing the challenges posed by the Protestant Reformation. Moved by a fervent desire to serve, Peter joined the society in 1543, becoming the first German Jesuit. His priestly ministry began in 1546, and he soon stood out for his ability to preach, teach, and debate. But Peter was not just a man of words, he was a man of action. Sent to regions deeply affected by the Reformation, he worked tirelessly to revitalize Catholic faith, communicating Christ's teachings in an accessible and captivating way. What makes St. Peter Canisius so special? It wasn't just his eloquent words or written works, but also his heart, full of zeal and love for the Church. He understood that in times of crisis, the best response is a living testimony of faith expressed through acts of charity, dedication, and humility. In this video, we'll explore how he faced the challenges of his time, becoming a beacon of light for the world and leaving a legacy that has transcended centuries. His life inspires us to ask, what can we learn from his example? How can we, like him, be bearers of Christ's message in a world often distant from God? Stay with us to discover how St. Peter Canisius became a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and devotion, and prepare to immerse yourself in his incredible story. St. Peter Canisius lived during a period when the Catholic Church faced unprecedented challenges. The Protestant Reformation, initiated by Martin Luther in the early 16th century, rapidly spread throughout Europe. In Germany, Switzerland, and other regions of Central Europe, Catholic faith seemed to lose ground amid doctrinal divisions and political conflicts. It was in this context of crisis that Peter Canisius stood out as a true defender of the Church. After joining the Society of Jesus, his first major mission was to participate in the Council of Trent, one of the most important events in the Church's history. There, he served as a theologian, contributing to the development of clear and well-founded responses to the issues raised by the Reformation. But his greatest contribution wasn't just in theological debates. Peter understood the necessity of reaching the hearts and minds of the faithful through education and spirituality. Throughout his life, he traveled tirelessly, visiting cities like Vienna, Prague, Ingolstadt, and Munich. Every place Peter Canisius visited bore witness to his dedication to preaching, teaching, and reviving faith. He not only reclaimed souls for Christ, but also laid a solid foundation for the spiritual renewal of the Church in Central Europe. His ability as an educator was remarkable. In Ingolstadt, for example, he became the university rector and worked to form young people not only in academic knowledge, but also in spiritual life. He believed education was one of the most powerful tools to combat religious ignorance and the heresies of his time. His pedagogy combined theological depth with simplicity, enabling his lessons to reach both scholars and ordinary people. However, perhaps his most renowned contribution was the production of catechisms. Peter Canisius wrote 3 different versions tailored to diverse audiences: children, young people, and adults. These catechisms clearly and systematically explained the fundamentals of Catholic faith, addressing topics such as the commandments, sacraments, the creed, and prayer. His works were translated into several languages and became indispensable tools for evangelization. But St. Peter Canisius's work went beyond written words. His life was a living testimony of humility and devotion. During one of his missions in Vienna, he encountered a population devastated by famine and plague. Instead of limiting himself to preaching, Peter dedicated himself to caring for the sick and consoling the afflicted, demonstrating Christ's love through concrete actions. Another remarkable aspect of his spirituality was his devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. He not only propagated the prayer of the Holy Rosary, but also composed numerous prayers and texts dedicated to Our Lady. Peter believed that in times of difficulty, Mary's intercession was a powerful aid for the faithful. His efforts, however, were not always met with enthusiasm. He faced opposition from Protestants and even from some sectors within the Church. Yet Peter remained steadfast in his mission, trusting in divine providence and the power of prayer. Today, reflecting on his life, we might wonder, how did Peter Canisius persevere amidst so many adversities? The answer lies in his unwavering trust in God and his profound prayer life. For him, faith wasn't just a belief, but a way of living that touched every area of his existence. May the life and works of St. Peter Canisius inspire us to be more zealous in our faith, seeking the sacraments, studying the Church's truths, and living as authentic followers of Christ. Throughout his life, St. Peter Canisius demonstrated that true societal transformation begins with the spiritual renewal of each individual. His mission wasn't just to reclaim the territories of Catholic faith, but to reignite the flame of love for Christ in hearts. He understood that in uncertain times, the greatest testimony we can give is to live the gospel authentically. Even amidst many challenges, Peter maintained his inner strength through constant prayer. He was known for dedicating long hours in adoration of the Blessed Sacrament and celebrating Holy Mass with devotion that inspired all around him. In his homilies, he emphasized that the sacraments were inexhaustible sources of grace and encouraged the faithful to frequently seek the Eucharist and confession. One of St. Peter Canisius's most striking characteristics was his ability to combine firmness with charity. In his debates with Protestant reformers, he never used words of condemnation or personal attacks. Instead, he addressed differences with respect and patience, always aiming to enlighten and bring reconciliation. His approach teaches us that the true apostle doesn't seek to win arguments, but to win souls for Christ. At the same time, Peter understood the importance of concrete action in Christian life. During a severe crisis in Munich, when the city faced extreme poverty, he organized efforts to provide food and shelter for the needy. His generosity touched everyone's hearts, regardless of their religious beliefs, making him a living example of God's love. His life, however, wasn't free from suffering. Peter faced periods of extreme fatigue, physical and spiritual attacks, and even misunderstandings from his contemporaries. Yet he never allowed difficulties to deter him from his mission. On the contrary, he saw every trial as an opportunity to unite more deeply with Christ's sufferings. In 1597, at the age of 76, Peter Canisius gave his soul to God. His last words were a prayer of surrender and trust, summarizing the spirit of his life. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. He was canonized in 1925 by Pope Pius V and declared a Doctor of the Church, earning the title Hammer of Heretics for his tireless defense of Catholic faith. But St. Peter Canisius's legacy didn't end with his death. His works continue to illuminate the faithful, and his example remains a call to holiness for us all. In a world that often seems to forget eternal values, his life reminds us that with faith and dedication, we can be instruments of God to transform our reality. Reflecting on the life of St. Peter Canisius, we are invited to look at our own journey. Are we living consistently with the gospel? Do we seek to strengthen our faith through the sacraments and the study of doctrine? How are we responding to the challenges of our time? May the intercession of St. Peter Canisius help us grow in faith and be light in the world just as he was. And may we, like him, proclaim Jesus with our lives, bringing hope and love wherever we are. Now I ask you, what aspect of Saint Peter Canisius' life inspires you the most? Share your reflection in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Camino de Santidad channel so we can continue this journey of faith together. I also invite you to watch other videos on the channel that explore the lives of saints who, like St. Peter Canisius, teach us how to live as authentic disciples of Christ. May God bless you, and see you next time.